I've been asked by many hams, and even some newer professionals, when it comes to receiver specifications, what does the term 20 dB quieting mean? Or what does level of quieting means? Level of quieting is a spec related to a receiver's sensitivity, and it's a signal-to-noise measurement. It's very easy to calculate, and for those of you who will be working with receivers quite a bit, it's very easy to get it into your head about what it sounds like. So let's start with a receiver with the squelch open, receiving no signal, just blasting out white noise. That is 0 dB quieting. As a signal quiets that receiver, the level of white noise will be reduced in levels measured in decibels. And when that decibel figure reaches 20 dB, that is the 20 dB quieting figure. People like myself who work with land mobile receivers all the time, we work with everything from 10 to about 50 dB of quieting. The full quieting level comes in that ballpark of 50 dB of quieting. So the signal becomes less and less noisy all the way down the dB scale, and till it reaches that full quieting figure. So when you see a receiver that has a spec of, say, a half a microvolt for 20 dB quieting, we'll show you where that comes from and what it sounds like. I start with a piece of antiquated equipment. Used to be the industry standard multimeter, the Simpson 260. This meter is over 50 years old. I've had it for close to 50 years. And in today's digital world, there are a lot of times where an analog meter is actually superior to a digital meter for making some types of measurements and tests. And likewise, quite often a digital meter is superior to an analog meter. Anyways, the old Simpson 260 has an output jack on it to the common jack on it, and we're measuring alternating current, of course, because audio is alternating current, and select the voltage scale you want. Typically the 2.5 volt scale for most receivers is good enough. The leads of the multimeter are connected across a speaker. I just threw this together to run this test. The speaker is connected to a receiver here, and I've got the volume turned down. Here, we'll just kill the signal so we can start from scratch there. And we'll come back here with the speaker audio turned up, and we'll put some signal to it and show you levels of quieting is also needed. So we use an IFR 500 service monitor here for that. And the RF output of the signal generator is connected to the receiver. Here's our 0 dBm figure. There is no signal into the receiver. And here is your wide open squelch. Just white noise with no quieting whatsoever. We'll now inject some signal, and notice a little bit of quieting already. You can hear that. And if we come over here, we'll see we've got about 2 decibels of quieting already. As we increase the signal, notice the more level of quieting as we go here. And there's our infamous 20 dB quieting signal. Notice it sounds about like popcorn cooking. that popcorn sound. There's your 20 dB quieting. And if you look here, that 20 dB quieting signal is about 0.2 of a microvolt, or minus 121 dBm. And the meter only goes to 20 dB, but just to my ear, I can pretty much show you different levels of quieting here. 20 dB quieting sounds about like popcorn popping. Let's get it back there. You hear the popcorn a little better. You can hear the popcorn cooking in the background there. Okay, let's add some signal here. And right about in there, a lot of people call that steam. Does kind of sound like steam. Take the popcorn away and you have that steam sound. That's about a 30 dB quieting signal. Take the steam down to just a little bit of hiss. That's about a 40 dB quieting in that ballpark signal. And there's your full quieting, and that'd be your 50 dB quieting and better. And you look at that's about neg 100 dBm, or about 2 microvolt signal there. So there you go on levels of quieting and that 20 dB quieting book spec on receivers.